Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome in or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me today. If we have not met yet, hello, my name is Amanda, and this is a timeless general pick a card reading for the collective today. And whenever you come across it, there will be a message to help inspire and align you to your highest good. Please, as always, take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. And if you are not seeing yourself or your situation in these messages today, please don't make them fit. You can check another pile, wait for my next reading, or take a peek at some of the other videos I have in my feed. And remember that any predictions or outcomes are possibilities only due to the fluid nature of life and the beauty of our own free will. So this is going to be a new topic for me today. If you'd like to hear me do a reading on another topic, then please pop your suggestions down in the comments below, and I will see what I can do. So today we are going to be asking the cards all about truth. What kind of truth needs to be revealed to you? And in all honesty, I do not know what kind of messages are going to come up today. So bear with me as I try to navigate challenging myself with this new topic. So hopefully I can give you messages that are clear and will help offer you a little guidance. So one more for the piles today, and then we will add crystals and get into the readings. So for pile number 1, we have flexible. For pile number 2, we have a leg up. And for pile number 3, we have go the distance. If you would like to pick with crystals, let me add those right now. So for pile number 1, we have the red selenite. For pile number 2, we have the blue calcite. And for pile number 3, we have the mystic merlinite. So if you need more time to choose your pile, please pause the video now, and when you are ready, head down into the description box below to find the timestamp for your reading, and we will see you over there. Hello, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose the flexible card with the red selenite stone. There's a sense here of you needing to be flexible with something. You remaining flexible on an outcome, on a process, on person, place, or thing. So I'm going to ask where you are feeling rigidity or resistance in your life at this time, and how can you include or embody a little bit of flexibility here within your situation. With the egg, I get the sense of timing. With the egg timer, I don't know why that came up. There's also a feeling of a hanged man energy, of having to see things from a different point of view. So is there a way that you're thinking about something that feels very persistent and you can't seem to shake yourself out of that way of thinking? Is there a way that you can see things from a different point of view? So for example, if you're feeling like you're in a little bit of a lack mindset, is there a way to refocus or redirect your energy to looking at the abundance that you currently have, rather than looking at the lack? So again, being flexible with how you see things, your perspective. There's also a sense of being open-minded here as you move through this energy of being flexible here. And on target is what I'm hearing. You could be on target for something. So there's a sense of you continuing to focus on what it is that you're aiming for, you're trying to do, but I feel like the way that it's going to be created is going to be different than you expect. but I feel like the goal is the goal is there. The target is there, if you will, but it's not going to be as direct as you think or as easy as you think. That could be the truth. So also when trees are in a storm, for example, if they don't have deep roots in what it is in the ground, so with that being, our humanness, when we're not rooted within our own self, within our own confidence, within our own belief system, and a storm comes along to challenge that, and we don't have firm roots within ourself to get us through that storm, then just like the tree, we will end up breaking rather than bending and swaying with the wind. So this is how I feel you need to be right now. Willing to learn new things, being teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. And common sense is important, but so is an open mind. So stay curious, stay open, stay aware. And I feel like others might be flexible with you as well. You might start seeing that flexibility with others. There's also a feeling of kind of meeting in the middle as well. So not forcing your own way of doing things, of being, of how things should unfold, but to rather compromise or meet in the middle. Being flexible on that process, being flexible on how things should look, on how people should be or act or react. So that could be part of your truth, or that could just be a footnote of the reading today. So these have been pre-shuffled. Spirit, could we get 3 cards for pile 1 regarding the truth that needs to be revealed? What truth does pile 1 need to understand at this time? I feel like that one was trying to come out, and one more. Okay, we got a whole swack of them here, and okay, well, you have many cards, so here we are. It looks like all of your reading came out at once, so we will go ahead and read for that. So the first row, let's talk about the first row. You have the 3 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. So again, going back to being flexible here, I feel like there's potential to commit to something new here, to plant a new seed. And I think you have to be mindful of the company that you keep in this situation. The company that you keep, there could be 1, there could be multiple, maybe even 3 people, or 2 people plus you, that may not necessarily be the best people to be around. Just looking at the clarifier, let's touch base on the bottom row here. We have the Page of Swords, the Emperor, and the Tower in reverse. And then bottom of the deck energy, we have the Devil in reverse. So with this Devil energy paired with, this 3 of Cups energy, I feel like there's something here. There's some toxic behavior. There's some bad behavior. There's a habit that you might be embodying at this time that needs to be broken, that needs to be moved away from. That could have something to do with your friend group or the people that you socialize with. I feel like there is a new path, a path of independence here, because we have the 3 of Cups and the Page of Swords together, which tells me that this is an individual versus a group. And the individual is in the upright position, the group is in the reverse position. So there could be some friendships in your life that are not necessarily the best. They don't bring out the best in you. They don't offer a sense of health and balance or well-being. They may be fun to be around. You guys may have great times together. But I would just observe that a little bit, if anything. Because I think that part of the truth is that there are some friends here that, or you have a desire to move away some kind of environment, situation, scenario, people that are not healthy for you in some way. And I think this requires you to be, and we're coming back to this being open-minded here, because we have the Ace of Swords and we have the Page of Swords here. And this Page of Swords is all about learning new things, about absorbing all of the knowledge that they can in order to do things differently, in order to level up, in order to really be as sharp as they can. And that goes back to that flexible card, where it's seeing things from a different point of view, a different perspective, and being open-minded enough to not be firmly rooted or tied to something that is not necessarily the best thing for you. Maybe you've been doing it for some time, you've been connected to this situation or these people for some time, so there could be some guilt that is coming up with having to move away from the situation, and maybe you don't want to feel shameful about having to limit your time with them or move away from them completely. But I feel like there is a brand new opportunity that is tied to your own sense of sovereignty. Sovereignty from the situation, sovereignty from these people, and coming into a place of power. An opportunity for you to really create something that will provide abundance and security, maybe even align a little better to your values and the things that you really hold in high regard or high esteem. But this requires you to really be firm and rooted in who you are. And there is, with the Emperor in the upright position, if he's in the reverse, he can be a little bit rigid and inflexible about how things need to be done. But in the upright, he has a vision on how he wants to go about managing things, how he envisions his kingdom to look, and how he wants to go about executing on that vision. So while yes, there is a plan, there's not so much rigidity that there is control over the people, control over the way things should be and how it should be done. There's a little bit of flexibility within this Emperor in the upright position, so that's a great thing. But this is about you coming into that authoritative power to make the decisions and stick to the decisions based on what it is you value and where it is you want to go. That requires a little bit of work on your mindset, the way you think about yourself, the way you communicate to others and yourself. But I feel a new path is here that is a breakaway from the current situation that you might be feeling a little bit fallen out with, whether that is friendships, whether that is a coworker situation, networking, any relationship that might be related to us in some way or connected to us in some way. And then we have the Ace of Swords in the upright and the Tower in reverse. So it's like there is a bit of fear here. It's like you want to wait for the right time, the right circumstances. There's a sense of perfectionism here, or forging something before you make some kind of decision, creating something, feeling something before you go about making this big change, because there is a resistance here with the Tower in reverse. So it's like you're trying to come up with ideas to soften the blow, to make this a little bit easier. And you could discover that for sure in the process of working through this. But this is also about, swords are also not just about communication and self-expression, but it is also about expressing that truth as well. So I feel you're trying to find the right words or the right moment or the right timing. And you're trying to, it's almost like you're waiting for that perfect moment to take action, to make things a little bit easier on yourself. But I don't know that there will be or is. You kind of have to, I mean, obviously there could be some preparation work that you could do. Maybe there's a certain way to go about communicating something or approaching a certain thing that you could explore, absolutely. And maybe that's something you need to learn how to do. But there's a certain point at which we do have to make some decisions, and that this tower moment isn't going to stay in the reverse position for an extended period of time. Because the tower energy, because it's a major arcana, is a universal energy. So it's kind of like whether you like it or not, this change is going to happen. And it is a foundational change that is going to impact certain aspects of your life. I feel it has to do with your social life in some form or fashion here. And the truth is that you have to stop feeding into the thing that doesn't feel good to you, the people that do not lift you up, the people who do not support you, the fair weather friends, maybe the coworkers that don't feel authentic. But this devil cannot operate on his own steam. These people at the bottom here are the ones stoking the fire, which give this devil the energy. So in what areas of your life are you stoking that fire and continuing to participate and contribute? I hope this doesn't sound too harsh, but because of the topic and the nature of the topic, I feel like I have to communicate some hard truths here in order to allow spirit to come through in the context of that topic. So hopefully this is making sense. Hopefully this feels clear to you. So let's get an ending final oracle card for you now. Spirit, could we get a final oracle message for pile 1, please, regarding their truth? Wise one, grow within your current situation. Be open to insights and wisdom from your elders, possibly. The wise one represents the wisest aspect of goddess, the crone. In paganism and modern Wicca, the crone is the fiercest, most psychic, and most aware aspect of goddess, because she has been through many life's challenges and overcome many setbacks. On this card, the raven in her hands represents the capacity to overcome the darker times and be reborn again and again. So she helps you to tap into wisdom to overcome whatever life throws at you. Wisdom being the information stored in your soul, rather than the knowledge acquired in this lifetime, and to learn from the experience. The wisdom of the wise one is based on something that the younger generation is often lacking: commitment and reliability. When this card appears, you are being guided to continue working on your growth and expansion within your current situation. Be committed to your tasks and projects. It can be very easy to get bored or overwhelmed, but persevere. You're being reminded of how it feels to be let down and experience unreliability, and that is not who you were born to be. So keep working on what you're working on, because it's going to be extremely beneficial for you in the long run. So that is interesting that this comes out with the idea of you moving away from some kind of situation or people, to move away from something that is unhealthy. I feel like the commitment and the reliability aspect that this card is speaking to is the commitment and the reliability of you showing up for yourself and the things that you feel are most valuable to you, to not let those go, and to tap into your intuitive, wise self, to know the path forward. Even though logic might be telling you to do one thing or another, what is your heart telling you? What is that intuition, those intuitive inklings, those nudges telling you? So to kind of wrap this up, I feel like the way you're doing things, and it's interesting that this person is upside down too, as well as the devil in the reverse position. So I almost feel like in order for you to move away from something that's not the best, you have to commit to your own sense of self, commit to your own beliefs about what you want and what you value, and to look at something from a different point of view, to do something differently than you've done before, to commit to that, even though it might feel a little bit awkward. It might look a little bit awkward. You might sound a little bit awkward. That's okay. But again, coming back to that flexible message of being flexible with how things unfold, with how you feel like you need to show up, about what those expectations are that you have of yourself, and to be flexible with the fact that things change. Adapt to the situation in a sense where you allow yourself and give yourself permission to adjust and recommit to something else, especially if the situation or the people that you're considering or thinking about at this time are not really in alignment with who you are, what you value, where you want to go. So I think you have to have a little bit of an honest moment with yourself and even come into your own truth here. What is that truth? And start taking action and walking towards that truth with great wisdom, commitment, and consistency in showing up for that. So pile one, this is what I have for you. I hope you got something from it today. You're welcome to like this video and comment below. And for private readings and newsletter signups, the links for that is in the description box below if you are interested. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So you chose a leg up with the blue calcite stone. And when we add up 4 and 3, we have the number 7. 34 could also be a significant number to you, as well as the polar bear. So my first instinct here is, do you allow others to support you? This could be part of the truth that you need to come to realize, is that you can't do everything alone. You need to have assistance and support and be on the receiving end of help. You may be a person who likes to offer a leg up to others. However, you could be in a position now where you need some assistance and that you can't possibly go it alone at this time. You may need support or assistance from somebody else, but the trick is that you have to be ready to accept it. And that might come with a lot of feelings. That could come with some guilt, some shame, some feelings of failure. Maybe even some feelings of unworthiness to some degree. So how can you go about getting that support without feeling those feelings? Identify where those feelings are coming from, and how can you work on receiving help with grace and gratitude? And I will say that when people offer others support, when you offer other people support, you feel really good about yourself. You probably don't see other people as failures or someone that you need to shame or make feel guilty for needing that help, correct? So If you are the type of person to not receive help because you're strong enough, you can do this yourself, and you can do it no problem, and then I think that narrative needs to shift. That old narrative of you having to go it alone. And because of how you feel good helping others, others will feel good helping you too. So almost don't rob them of that pleasure, is what I'm hearing here. All right, so let's get into your tarot. These have been pre-shuffled from the previous piles. So let's get into your message here. Spirit, we're talking to pile 2 here. What is the truth that they need to have revealed to them at this time? Strongest energies, messages for pile 2 regarding the truth that needs to be revealed. One more, thank you. All right. So a lot of reversals here, but initial message is take your time. We have the Knight of Pentacles, which is a card of patience, a card of taking things one step at a time, of being very methodical in their approach, of taking a step and then really getting a sense for that movement forward, where they are in their environment. Are they going in the right direction? So it takes them a really long time to get to the end, the finish, the goal, because of that pace, that very methodical, mindful, intentional pace, which I feel like you could be embodying at this time, or that could be part of your message. And in your main reading, we have everything in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. We have the Death card in reverse. And we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. This 10 of Wands, this is about getting help, because the burden that you've carried is too heavy for you to carry on your own. So in the reverse, I like to see this card in reverse because it is about letting go of the burden that you are carrying all by yourself, and that may not necessarily be required or necessary. You know, a lot of the times we take on tasks in a day, in a week, in a month. We have all of this long to-do list of things that we need to do to feel productive and successful and like we're moving towards our goals or getting things done. But in that process, especially if we don't get help, we get to a point of burnout, of feeling like we can't possibly take on anything more. We can't enjoy life because there's so many things on our plate, responsibilities and to-dos, that we just don't have the energy for anything else. So this could be the reason for the slow energy here, because you just don't have time to, not time, but you don't have the resources and the energy to move any quicker. And I feel a sense of overwhelm here with the Ace of Cups. And there's change here. Between the overwhelm and the dropping of the burdens, there is a change that I feel, significant change, that is required in order for you to, there's an ending, there's a transformation that needs to happen here that you could possibly be avoiding. You could feel like, oh, if I just stop doing this, then that'll be okay. But I think it runs a little deeper than that. It runs deeper than the surface tasks that you are maybe taking off your plate. I think it has to do with how you feel about yourself. And that is what needs to change. So there is a sense of, there's a sense of you maybe not identifying with the things that are motivating you to take on too much. to take on the responsibility yourself. I feel like there's something deep in there. And that is what needs to change. And I don't think you have identified it yet or acknowledged it yet, but it is waiting to be transformed. And that's why it's in the reverse position, is because it hasn't quite transformed in the way that you think. You may have dropped some tasks. Maybe you're even getting help from some people. But I think it might go back to the way it was as soon as that help is exhausted, or as soon as you free up your schedule, for example. You might start filling it again with things to do because that void or that space is uncomfortable. So I'd explore that a little bit. I'd explore the emotions that you might be avoiding or feeling overwhelmed with, or even the foundational reason for taking on the responsibility or the tasks that you have, which may have led you to a place of burnout. So let's clarify the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, please. So this one came out sideways, and it is the Eight of Wands in the sideways position. So you're not quite... The Eight of Wands is a very quick, fast-moving energy, which is completely opposing the Knight of Pentacles. So I think there is a desire to move beyond this. There's a desire to fix it. But I feel like it is because this Ace of Cups is predominant at the moment that you can't release it. There's been, you may be feeling or seeing some delays in progress. And maybe you're, again, making some changes, but it's not quite fixing it, because I feel the root of the problem is deeper than you think. And I feel it's tied to some kind of emotional belief you might have about yourself, you might feel about yourself. Could have to do with how you treat yourself in terms of love and respect. But I feel like, yeah, with the Eight of Wands, in the reverse position, it can extreme delays in communication, extreme delays in movement, action, manifestations. In the upright, it's just, we're on our way. In the sideways position, there's a desire to move beyond, but a resistance, a delay, a blockage. So what is that blockage? Let's look at that Death card in the reverse. What is that Death card in reverse, please, Spirit? What is that regarding, please? Show us. Thank you. There's more movement here. We have another 8. And it's the Chariot. So it's even more movement than the 8 of Wands here. But it's controlled movement because it is in the upright. This is victory. You want to just feel victorious. You want to feel successful in overcoming this. Maybe you want to skip over this transformation part, thinking that it's not required. But with the universal energies that the major arcana is, we're going to come up against that again if we don't integrate or learn the lesson that we need to learn in this moment in time. And that's okay. If we happen to not learn the lesson, it will show up in a different form, and we will hopefully be able to see the things that need to be adjusted, shifted, or changed in order for us to experience something new. And typically that has to do with self. How we're approaching a situation, how we're feeling about ourselves, what our motivations are underneath all of that. And I think that's what this is about. There is something here that is driving you to do something in a way that might not be the best thing for you, but you do it anyways. And I'm not really sure why. Maybe you feel like you would get some sense of gratification or some sense of being helpful or some sense of success, productivity maybe. But I feel like you're really pushing yourself here. And so what is that underlying desire to do this? Because I feel you need to step into a bit of a slower pace. We have a very, fast-moving energy kind of within the reading, and then the underside of the deck is very slow-moving energy. So either there is a call for you to move slower so that you can sort out whatever this emotional blockage might be, or you may need to start moving in a different direction, doing something differently than you've done. And I feel, because of that quick energy, I feel like this has to be dealt with relatively quickly, which is interesting because maybe there's a hesitancy or there's a slow energy here. So why is this fast and why is bottom of the deck slow? Maybe you need to have a little more strategy. Maybe this has nothing to do with speed. Maybe it has to do with you evaluating your direction, evaluating how you're doing things here. I'm going to get the last card out here and see if that has anything to reveal here. 10 of Wands in reverse. Clarify. Thank you. So this has something to do with your intuition as well. I think your intuition is telling you that something here isn't working for you, something here isn't right. And maybe you're not able to care for yourself or plan for your future or strategize something here because you're too bogged down, too burdened. And maybe speed is a factor. Maybe you want to move a little slower in life, but there's so much coming at you that you feel you just have to move, that you have no moment in time to really process, which could be the reason why the Death card is in reverse. There's an intuition here, though. There's a strong intuition that I think you have about this 10 of Wands situation. And again, that goes deeper than the logic. This isn't about logic. This is about your intuitive knowing, your deeper knowing that something here isn't right. It's not feeling good. Yet I'm being pushed or guided somewhere where it's not really working for me. It's not my speed of doing things. This almost feels a little chaotic. And I feel like you just want to move a little slower. So what is the chaotic energy in your life that you need to, if possible, move away from in order to find moments of quiet, of being able to listen to your intuition? I feel like once all of this is out of the way, all of this burden has been lifted off your shoulders, that you can then connect with your intuition and figure out where it is you want to go, how it is you want to go. But again, I feel it comes back down to there's something deeper here. So it's like you're showing me something on the outside of, yes, I'm doing all of this. I'm taking all of this on. I'm seemingly looking like I can handle it all. But inside and underneath, it's overwhelming me. I really want to make this change. I really want to relieve myself of this burden. but it's like you don't know how, because no matter what external changes you might make, maybe delegating some tasks, for example, or not doing something, it just seems to come back. And it's like it keeps you stuck in a little bit of a loop of continually feeling overwhelmed, and then releasing the burden, and then feeling okay enough, and then you're taking on more burdens or more tasks, or filling the void, if you will. So it's kind of, I feel this repetitive cycle is happening. And this death card is like, yes, something needs to change. Something within you needs to change. So not just you delegating tasks, or you taking tasks or to-dos or responsibilities off your plate. There's something underneath that is driving you to avoid making the change at the root. Or there's something underneath that is, so for example, if we're not feeling worthy enough to be somebody's friend, as an example, then we're going to constantly do everything in our power to prove to that person that we are worthy of friendship. And so this could look like acts of service, where we are doing things when they ask us to. We are catering to every kind of need and desire and ignoring our own. Especially, when we want to say no, but we say yes. And seemingly on the outside, we're okay with it because, she's my friend, or this person's my friend, so why wouldn't I show up and help? But what about you needing the same help when you need it? What about you having space and time with your own thoughts and doing the things that you want to do without feeling burdensome or shamed or guilty for doing that? And so it's about not just saying no more, but believing that we are worthy of an equal relationship, a friendship, for example, using my example, of a friend that will show up for us and understand us and support us just as much as we support them. So once we foster that sense of a stronger self-worth and self-respect within us, then we know where to draw the line. We know how to set healthy boundaries. We know how to say no and be really strong in the face of being challenged or that adversity. So I don't really know specifics, but that is sort of the feeling that I'm getting. If you feel comfortable, I'd love to hear what you might be going through if this is resonating. Okay, so I've pre-shuffled these as well. We're going to get one card from this deck to end the reading. And here we are. Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. So again, this is exactly the high priestess here of that inner knowing, of knowing what is right for you. And almost stepping into that, knowing what you need. And if those desires and needs are not being met, then either A, how can you do that and offer that for yourself? Or B, how can you ask for some support to get that? So I'm going to read from the book, because the book is written so beautifully. So take action. Do what you know you need to do. Mother always knows best, they say, and it's true. We all know a maternal figure who's extremely intuitive and insightful, and this medicine mother, inspired by West African tribal woman, has gone through many ups and downs. She has lived and she has lost. She knows what it's like to suffer and want to give up. So the medicine of this card is that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, and it's okay for things to come to an end. It's not the end of the world, it's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The Medicine Mother reminds you that even though you will have low lows, you aren't here to suffer. You're here to be supported and to support others. Let her give you the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. There's an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you'd like to be. You already know the answers. You know what you need to do. You may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, but now you are being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. So interesting that they talked about delaying tactics, because maybe that's what this Eight of Wands is, and maybe the blockage to this transformation that is just waiting to happen. And then also going back to you knowing the answers and knowing what you need to do. I feel like this is a really lovely card to end your reading, because I really feel like it kind of encapsulates everything we talked about here. So I do hope this helped you, pile 2, and I hope this revealed a little bit of truth that you needed to hear at this time. And if anything resonated, feel free to comment below and like this video. And if you'd like a private reading or sign up to my newsletter, the links for that are in the description box below. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose Going the Distance with the Mystic Merlinite. Now, 47 could be a significant number. When we add 7 and 4, that is 11. 1 and 1 is 2. Lots of numbers in that could have some meaning for you. Cheetahs could also have some meaning for you. So the feeling that I get from this is that there's possibly some instant gratification that you are leaning on at this time to feel satisfied. Additionally, I think whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or achieve is going to take longer than you expect. So this isn't about the instant gratification, but the perseverance and going the distance of committing to that regardless of how long it might take. And paying no attention to kind of the details in the moment of the possible delays or challenges, but understand that you are moving towards that goal. You may or may not see it yet. And this isn't a sprint. This card reminds you that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you the distance here. So remain true to yourself, your goals, your authenticity. And as long as you're kind of aligned with that authenticity, it will take you to where you need to go. So the truth in that might be that I get the sense of buckle down, because this is going to take a little more effort than you think. It's going to take a little more time than you think. And that if you're really passionate about this thing that you might be chasing after, that you really have to come to some kind of peace with the process and not try to race towards it, because there could be some things that you miss along the way. There could be some details. You could be taken off track because of the speed at which you're going. So don't shoot the messenger, please. But I've pre-shuffled these cards. Let's actually get into your message here. Spirit, could we get 3 cards for Pile 3? What do they need to hear now regarding their truth? What truth do they need to hear at this time, please, Spirit? One more. One more. Thank you. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So this one came out first, second, third. All right, so lots of reversal energies in all three piles. So I definitely feel like there's lots of blockages, obstacles, delays. We have the Page of Wands in the upright position. So I feel like you are chasing something new here. You are charting a new path or charting a new course is what I'm hearing. There's a new pathway in front of you that you are passionately following, but maybe you're worried about things not working out. There's a sense of perfectionism here. Okay, I'm getting too far ahead. Then we have the Six of Cups in reverse and Page of Cups in reverse. So you've got two pages here. This could have something to do with your childhood, with your inner child, or with two younger people in your life. That one is very passionate, there's a desire, there's an ambition here, but this person is blocked because of their perfectionistic ways. There's a perfectionism here that is keeping them stuck. So while yes, they have big dreams and aspirations and goals and have the willpower and the ambition to go towards that, I feel like they're blocked. They're stuck in this perfectionism, like, if only this was like this, or I had this skill, or I was like this, then, I just have to get these things perfect or in place or ready in order to move forward. Then we have the Six of Cups in reverse, which indicates childhood memories, nostalgia. So there could be some feeling of being stuck in the past to some degree. It could be, there's a blockage because something in your past, there was an experience here. There was something somebody said to you in the past that is keeping you stuck here, that is keeping you... I would definitely inquire, look into that, explore that a little. This could also be your inner child that needs to be offered a little bit of care or nurturing or healing. And then we have the Page of Cups in reverse, which is that feeling of this imaginative energy of big dreams and aspirations and imagination, but feeling creatively blocked. But definitely something regarding childhood is very strong in this. This could be two parts of your inner child that needs some kind of attention. Maybe your creative side, the side of you that was suppressed. Maybe the emotional side of yourself as a child that was suppressed. And the creative side or the ambitious side that wanted to do things and do big things, but was blocked, was told that they couldn't. And so this is the place that you're kind of stuck in. You're stuck in some kind of past loop that is making you believe you can't have these new beginnings. You can't go on these new paths. You can't explore these new paths. You can't be a different person because something or someone in your past told you that you weren't, you couldn't, and never will. And with the Hanged Man in reverse, this is about coming to some kind of enlightenment about that. And so you need to bring some kind of light to this particular situation. If not, then there will be significant delays in you moving forward, in going the distance, in reaching that goal, whatever that may be, the finish line. There is no finish line, but in this instance, there is a finish line, but there is a goal that you're trying to achieve, or maybe there's some aspirations that you have, or some dreams that you feel like you can't have. Why is that? What is the truth behind that? Thinking, feeling. Is it rooted in fact? Or is it rooted in history, an experience, something that somebody said? So I feel like your truth here is you need to challenge that. And you need to look at that. You need to bring light to, some enlightenment to that situation. And this could be the delay that you're experiencing. You could be coming up against a lot of blockages, a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, a lot of delays. Could also be the Mercury retrograde. Just saying. But, you know, I don't want to blame everything on astrological events. We have the responsibility to own our choices, to own our future, present situation, and the choices within that, or lead up to. So, yeah, I feel it has a lot to do with your past, and this is what's keeping you delayed or stuck here. Let's clarify now. Page of Wands in reverse. We have the Sun. So I feel like whatever path this is the thought of it really excites you. The thought of it really makes you happy. But again, there's a sense of perfectionism, or when things are sunny or better, or when they are a certain way, then I will go about doing that. Is there some shame in your past about not doing things perfect? I feel like that needs to be, I think like what I'm getting is there's an expression here that needs to come to light. We've got the Sun here, and the Sun even here as well, in an abstract form. But here it's in full effect. And these people are dancing like no one's watching. They're being playful, joyful, happy. What are those things for you that maybe you feel like you can't explore because of something? Six of Cups in reverse. Ace of Wands in the upright. So, new project. Planting seeds for something new here. I think there is a lot of... There will be a new beginning, I feel. This is the spark. Exploring this, whether it is your childhood, whether it is you kind of stuck in some kind of past loop, is the spark to living into these new pathways, or moving into these new pathways. But I feel like it's all kind of on you to do that exploration, to maybe do some healing, maybe lean into your joys, or explore what brings you happiness, explore what sparks your creativity and excitement. Page of Cups in reverse. Let's see. Clarify the Page of Cups. And I do have to apologize, I guess, maybe. I don't want to offend anybody, but this reading seems to be very cut to the chase, very Queen of Swords energy. And I think it's the context of the topic. So I hope that you can forgive my delivery if I'm sounding a little bit harsh here, but it feels like Spirit just wants to come through and cut to the chase, cut to the truth. And so yeah, I'm being mindful of that. Six of Wands in reverse. I don't know if I showed you that. Six of Wands in the reverse position, clarifying the Page of Cups. So I feel like there was possibly an incident in your past, an experience in your past, where your successes were minimized, discounted, suppressed, not acknowledged. This could be within yourself or with somebody in your life. I feel like it might have happened, again, coming back to childhood, And again, maybe your joys in your childhood were suppressed to some degree. Maybe the things that you were passionate about, you were told, you can't do that. Most immediate example, because wands are about creativity, and you can't make money being an artist. So then you just didn't. And that you took that belief with you. And maybe you saw some successes with your art. Maybe you expressed some emotions through your art, or just expressed emotions in general. And that was shut down. That was suppressed. That was not celebrated. You may have overcome something quite significant in your emotional self that again wasn't acknowledged or validated. So I really get a sense that there's a bit of insecurity with the Page of Wands in reverse, especially with that perfectionism coming up. I feel like there's some things that need to be healed here. And it has to do with your inner child, your inner self. Because I feel like that spark is still there. That desire is still there with the Ace of Wands in the upright and the Sun in the upright. It's still burning brightly. But you are stuck because you feel like you can't achieve, like you will fail if you don't get something just right or just perfect. And it's delaying some kind of progress here. So I feel like with the Go the Distance card, this isn't about just going after your goal. Or in this instance, if we're feeling blocked, not going after it and waiting for the perfect moment to do that. This is about, in the meantime, while you're experiencing these possible delays or challenges or resistance to reaching some kind of goal, is to explore some of the underlying beliefs, the truths, the underlying truths of what you're telling yourself. And how is that related to what you might have experienced in your past? What you might have experienced as a child? From an emotional standpoint and from a creative or ambitious standpoint. I feel like there's some real tamping down that happened. And that's keeping you kind of stuck in the past a little bit. So going the distance means not only going the distance with the goal and being committed to the long term, but also with self as well, development of self and releasing of limiting beliefs and that perfectionism that's keeping you stuck, of those emotions that have not been acknowledged that need to be brought forth. And remember, at the beginning I mentioned instant gratification, but because the Hanged Man is here, it's not possible. That instant gratification is not going to help you. That's not going to satisfy what's underneath. And maybe there's a sense of you having to step up for yourself, in the sense that you need to acknowledge rather than look for external validation to tell you that you are a good artist, for example, or to validate your feelings. I feel like you have to do that for yourself. You have to acknowledge your successes. You have to choose joy and happiness in whatever form that looks like for you, regardless of getting permission from somebody else, as an example. You have to infuse childlike play with the Six of Cups in reverse, regardless of who says you can and can't. You have to acknowledge the things that you're feeling, whether they're good or bad, and understand where they are coming from and why. And you have to express yourself in the way that you need to with the Page of Wands in reverse, regardless of whether it's perfect. Make a mess, especially when we're, being creative, when we're having fun, when we're playing. This isn't about being perfect at something when you start doing something new. This is about exploration and having fun with it. So again, I think that is also a message there for you as well. So final message for you. I've pre-shuffled these cards. Pile 3. Okay. All over the place here. We have a few. Okay. We have one too many cards, so I'm just going to take the ones that kind of flipped out first. And you were the only pile that got 2, so here we go. So we've got wolves and foxes here. We've got curiosity and playfulness with the fox. And we've got this wild, unfettered, untethered beast that is you, I feel, really shining your light and expressing yourself, sharing who you truly are. So the she-wolf, unleash the wild within. That could be your authentic self, your wild side, your creative side, the self that might have been suppressed. Spirit fox, trust your talents in changing times. So I'm going to read from the book from these because my messages can never do them justice. The book is written so beautifully. So we'll start with this one with the she-wolf. Let your wild side up and out. Unleash your talents and desires. The she-wolf represents a shamanic archetype, and this illustration is inspired by several cultures. Depicted as half wolf, half woman, she is the alpha female who's not afraid to stand out from the crowd. So I get kind of Six of Wands energy as you are kind of center stage here in the Six of Wands, but with it being in reverse, there's like an avoidance to being center stage. She is wild, unfiltered, and unfettered. She encourages you to not be trapped by the limiting factors of weaker members of the pack or those who are trying to hunt you down because you have gifts they don't like or understand. She suppresses the energy of the wilderness and the unknown and encourages you to be free and unchained and go beyond your boundaries. Release the animal energy within and track down what you need to do to express your true self. You are being rewilded at this time, guided to reconnect with your rebellious heart, the part of you that likes to break boundaries and go beyond them completely. If you've been holding back on your hopes or dreams, you're being encouraged to chase after them now. Let the wolf energy within you help track down what direction you want to go in, and don't let any traps or hunters get in the way of your freedom or growth. The life you want is here. Wow, so that's really beautiful. It talks about you kind of standing in that celebration and energy and taking up space. Celebrate and be celebrated is what I'm hearing there, as well with the sun card too. It's like dance like no one's watching and be playful. Have fun. So the spirit fox. Stay alert as change is in the air. The spirit fox features my favorite animal of all time, the red fox, an amazingly resilient creature, able to survive in urban environments or in the freezing temperatures of the Arctic. Foxes know what it's like to be hunted. For centuries they have been sought for their precious fur when all they want is to survive. So the spirit fox can help you overcome the energies of adversity and unfair treatment. Also, urban foxes hide in cities and go about their business in darker hours. The fox offers the medicine of blending in. The energies around you are changing at this time, and although it may not always be comfortable, you are equipped with all that you need to survive this shift. You are being presented with opportunities to reach spaces you've never encountered before, and this can make you feel on edge, but be open to the shifts occurring, because they are really the answers to your prayers. The experience of being hunted or threatened is now behind you, and you are being invited to come out of your den and reveal your glory and talents. Call upon Spirit Fox Medicine to help you be seen for who you are and trust in your talents in order to be the best you can be in these changing times. Super cool. So I think both have a very similar message. It is about not being afraid and stepping up to the change that you might be feeling at this time, and stepping out, sharing your talents, whatever they may be. I feel like you are a very intuitive person. I feel like you may have talents that people are jealous of, which is maybe why they tamped you down, or they tried to suppress you or shut you down. But this is time to step into your gifts, your talents, your authentic self. Do not be afraid to share that. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Do not be afraid of what people or experiences you had in your past. I feel like this is kind of a brand new era or chapter for you. And with the page of one, or both pages here, I feel like this is not only a new emotional beginning, but this is also a new fiery beginning of what it is you desire and you're passionate about. Let's follow that now. And go the distance. I feel like, yes, it's not going to be an immediate instant gratification for you, but I think this is going to be significant in the long term. As you move through this energy, as you start to learn to step into your power of unwilding yourself and unchaining yourself from whatever has been holding you back in the past. So I think, and I hope, that this message of truth resonated with you today. You're welcome to comment below and let me know. Please like this video if you feel called to do so. And if you'd like a private reading or sign up to my newsletter, the links are in the description box below. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading.